yourself into as a man?
Bro, we talked about this though. You know that. We talked
about what,
this.
bro?
We had conversations about this shit. You already know the game.
If you want to start it, then I'm gonna finish it.
But I thought we was boys.
Me
if
too.
we're not boys, then for sure, then we can run it up after my shit. After I knock Bryce out, you coming up next.
Get the security out here. We can run it right now.
Have you been watching boxing lately? If you haven't, you wouldn't have talked about or heard about the various things going on via the celebrity boxing or the exhibition matches that have been going on as of late. You no doubt heard about the fight between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. And you also likely heard about how the battle of the platforms happened not too long ago. Why does this matter? Well, they appear to be continuing, and the next matchup might just put two of the big names from the previous two events against each other. To thank you for watching this video, we're offering you an absolutely free training webinar. Have you ever wondered how to end procrastination and self-sabotage so you can unleash your full potential to live the life you deserve? #1 best-selling author and high-performance coach Peter Sage is hosting a free webinar where he'll teach you how to increase your wealth with less time and struggle, and also how to hyper-boost your growth and success so you can finally break out of any rut you find yourself in. Right now, Peter and his team are offering a free $100 gift to anyone who doesn't find his webinar as the best use of their time within the last 5 years. Now, let's get back to the video. Allow us to show you how Austin McBroom calls out Logan Paul to a boxing match. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 5. Logan Paul versus Austin McBroom fight coming up. Let's set the stage a little before you, okay? The main event of the Battle of the Platforms fight event that we mentioned earlier was that of Austin McBroom of the Ace family versus Bryce Hall. The fight went 3 rounds before McBroom went and did enough damage to get a ref stoppage, and the fight was over with him being declared the winner in definitive fashion. How does this relate to Logan Paul? Well, the day after the fight, he went on to Twitter and posted a picture of McBroom's outfit that he wore to the outfit and compared to an animal costume, clearly stating that McBroom was not manly in wearing that outfit, which is an obvious way to get someone ticked off and to start a bit of a fight themselves. Now, obviously, nothing has been stated as of yet that a fight could happen between these two, but it is implied that something like it could happen. Right now, especially, it would make sense that these two would fight, given everything that has happened in boxing over the last few weeks. 4. Momentum building. First impressions of the Logan-Mayweather fight in terms of viewership were very strong. Apparently, it got over 1 million pay-per-view views, which is impressive in its own right. There's no word on the Battle of the Platforms views as of yet, but likely it won't come out until a week after the fight. While pay-per-view numbers like this rarely become public information, all signs indicate that this will end up as a huge success for Showtime after Mayweather returned to action to face off with a YouTube celebrity turned boxer in Paul. The match may have ended badly, but the hype had everyone wanting to come to the table. The one downside to the news is that Showtime was also bombarded with technical issues on that Sunday night due to the immense interest in the event. The Showtime website and app both crashed repeatedly throughout the card, which had many paying customers upset with the service. Showtime eventually issued a statement acknowledging the technical issues and allowing customers to ask for refunds if the problems prevented them from watching the fight. Still though, even with that set of issues, it was a success, and Logan Paul, along with those who want that success for themselves, will want to keep this rolling. If the Battle of the Platforms even has a moderate success rate in terms of viewership, that would be all the momentum it needs to do another one and to bring in Logan Paul for round 2. And if that were to happen, it only makes sense to put in McBroom as his opponent, as that was the main event guy in the first event, and so he won it, so it would be kind of a fusion that people would understand and appreciate. Plus, Paul would be able to use his fight with Mayweather to hype up the event and build himself up because he went 8 rounds with the best ever, quote unquote, while McBroom had to go 3 rounds against a TikTok star. Yeah, you know Paul would stoop to that level. 3. Star power. When it comes to the boxing world, you have to keep the biggest matches in the spotlight and build up the attention of the audience from the moment the match is announced. That was a huge reason why Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather was so hyped, because both sides and Logan's brother, Jake, did everything they could to go and full tilt promote the event. It worked. The place was selling tickets for thousands of dollars, and again, the app for Showtime kept shutting down because of people piling in to watch it. The Battle of the Platforms had a similar thing going because they had some of the best and brightest stars from YouTube and TikTok going and taking to their platforms to promote it from top to bottom. Again, the viewership numbers aren't in yet, but if even a fraction of all the fighters' followers went and watched the program, it would be a successful event. So thus, having the winner of the first event go and fight one of the kings of YouTube in Logan Paul would be a big way to keep the appeal going and entrance all sorts of people to go and pay attention to this fight. Granted, it won't be as big as Mayweather fight by any stretch of the imagination, but the appeal will be there, and that might be enough for people to watch. 2. Tyson's thoughts. Yes, as in Mike Tyson, who after watching the fight that Logan Paul had with Mayweather went and decided to congratulate the YouTube star on the fight he waged. "You kicked ass. I was wrong. You kicked ass. Ain't no doubt about it," Tyson said. "I'm proud of you. You're the baddest. Everybody's talking about you. You're the man. You win 8 rounds with the greatest of all time." Paul was very complimentary of his opponent on the night, but Tyson believed he fended off Mayweather well. "He was quick, he was fast," Paul said. For watching this video, we're offering you an absolutely free training webinar. How would you feel knowing that you could pay every bill you have right now as well as any future bills that come in? Commission Hero is a proven system that has helped over 8,000 people earn upwards of $1,000 a day or more. The best part is that there is 0 experience needed to get started. In this free training, Robbie Blanchard and his team will teach you the top 3 secrets to how and why this system works, and how it can also work for you. Join the thousands of people who have found success and financial freedom using Commission Hero. Right now, the first 100 people to use the link below will get access to this free webinar. Now let's get back to the video. "Nah, he wasn't that sassy," Tyson replied. "You got him with those punches." Tyson was made to somewhat eat his words, having predicted back in December that Mayweather was going to beat his effing ass, although he did expect Paul to fight back. And Tyson has made his admiration of the Paul brothers well known, having credited the duo for reigniting mainstream interest in the dying sport as UFC threatened to usurp boxing as the most popular combat sport. Which on one hand does sound like a ringing endorsement, because the Paul-Mayweather match definitely had more viewer attention than certain other real boxing matches for major titles. But if you really think about it, isn't that the problem? 1. The state of boxing right now. There was a time when boxing was the event in the world, where real men like Frazier, Ali, Foreman, Robinson, even Pacquiao and Mayweather in their prime would step in the ring and fight for the prize that everyone in the sport coveted. The world title in boxing was one of, if not the most respected things in all of sports, not just boxing, all of sports. Then after some of its biggest names died, retired, or failed to reclaim former glory, like with Tyson, the allure of boxing slowly went away, especially when a more physical combat sport in the UFC came into the picture and started picking up better views, making a lot of money and getting worldwide fame for the right and wrong reasons. This left the door open to go and try to change things up to get people to pay attention to the brand again, which includes what the Paul brothers are doing right now. To be clear, they didn't invent the celebrity boxing event, but they were the ones who really made it popular over the last year. Jake started it off by being on the undercard for the Mike Tyson return event, and now Logan Paul took it to the moon with the fight with Floyd Mayweather. And all this points to this being the new standard of boxing, and that's bad. We say that because the fight may have been hyped, but that doesn't mean it was good. Logan only landed 13% of his punches on Floyd. That's terrible, and he should be mocked for that, and the internet did mock him for that. Floyd even admitted that he didn't pursue a KO win even though he could have, even saying before and after the fight that this was legalized robbery because he apparently will get close to 100 million all told for doing the fight. So yeah, when you have events like these that are more about the boxers making money than elevating the sport, that's a major problem right there. And while McBroom versus Paul would be an interesting fight in its own right, that doesn't mean it'll be a quality boxing match. So what happens next is honestly up to them and whoever feels that these two fighting will bring in attention. So what do you think? What do you think of the possibility of something like an Austin McBroom versus Logan Paul boxing match? Do you think that this is the legitimate next step in terms of these special boxing matches? Do you think that more matches like this are just gonna go and hurt the brand as a whole? What match would you personally make for this line of boxing fights? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and we'll see you next time on the channel.